Good afternoon, students. My name is Shekhar, and today we'll have a class on a very important aspect of history, which is called 1857 Revolt or the First War of Indian Independence. So, this is important for all the students, for all the humanities students, whether they are history or political science, or for any students who are preparing for any government exams. This is a very major topic. ये बहुत ही important topic है. So before moving ahead, let me give you some detailed background about uh, the 1857 revolt. Why was it such an important aspect? It was important because, as we all know, the Britishers firstly came to India as traders, and they started their monopoly through a trading organization or trading firm called East India Company, which had monopoly rights in many port cities of India. In fact, they established many port cities of India like Calcutta, Madras, and Bombay. And through their expansionist mode and monopolizing agendas and exploitative tendencies, they started gaining control over all these areas. And as they gained control, they started gaining a lot of profits, and through these profits, they started building armies. And soon they had such a big army that they began to threaten all the local or native rulers. So they began to threaten the local or native rulers. They began attacking them. In certain cases, they used aggression and imposed taxes on them. All these led to a lot of frustration among local people and also local rulers, which over a period of time gathered momentum, and eventually in 1857 it burst out in the form of the first revolt called as 1857 revolt. Now, as I've given you the background, let us get upon to some important points. Now here we have to remember the most important point is East India Company's expansionist agenda. जैसा मैंने आपको बताया, East India Company was the organization which was completely dominated by few businessmen from England. These traders had put in a lot of capital, and they had started doing trade in India. Now, what happened is that they had lot of capital wealth, but they were also very ambitious. They were very expansionist in their agenda. So when they started from eastern India, they expanded to the west. Soon they got control of South India also, central India, northern India, and they started gaining control of all the Indian subcontinent. And as they gained control of the Indian subcontinent, they tried to attack some native kingdoms, native rulers. They attacked native rulers. They gathered big army, and eventually made local laws. They made local codes. They gained lot of profits. Through these profits, they had all the say, and soon they had their own administration, their own army, and they were very strong in the country. In fact, after a period of time, they became the ruling force of the country. They became the rulers eventually. And in 1857, they eventually ousted the last Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah Zafar, and the Mughal rule officially as well ended in India, and the Britishers became the ruling force in the country. Now, moving ahead, we need to know about the causes of rebellion. What are the causes of rebellion? There were many causes behind the 1857 revolt. Most important is the social reason. Now, what are these social reasons? As I've already told you, India was being very badly exploited by the East India Company and the Britishers at that time. Now, lot of taxes had been imposed upon local people. The Britishers were playing with the religion. They were trying to ban the local practices like dowry, sati pratha, and all these. This led to frustration amongst the people, and they felt that their religion, their society is in danger. Second is the political reason. Now, political reason was also a very major influencing factor behind this revolt. What was the reason behind the political aspect is that Britishers tried to gain control of all those kingdoms where they found that the native ruler did not have children. So they tried to gain control of their kingdom through doctrine of lapse. And in that doctrine of lapse, some states like Awadh, Jhansi, and there were certain other kingdoms as well, they collapsed, which led into extreme frustration amongst the rulers of those kingdoms. That is the reason why Awadh and Jhansi were amongst the forefront of that revolt. Third reason is the economic revolt. Now, economic revolt is perhaps the most important revolt. The reason being that the artisans and the merchants had suffered very badly due to the British policies in India. Because India eventually, see, you have to remember one thing, that earlier India used to supply manufactured goods abroad as well. India had a huge role in international trade. Now, it is because India was a big supplier of manufactured goods abroad that the Indian tradesmen prospered a lot. But during the British time, due to the British policies like excise duty and unnecessary taxes, exploitative taxes, the Indian tradesmen and local artisans, they suffered very badly, and eventually India, from being supplier of manufactured goods, became maker of raw material, supplier of raw materials, and eventually all the goods which were now being manufactured in England were being supplied in India. So India, from being India became a gainer of all these manufactured goods from England, which were shipped to India at very high cost. So India suffered very badly. Now, supporters and opposition. Now, there were many people who actually supported the 1857 revolt or this rebellion. Who were those people? People such as Tantya Tope, Mangal Pandey, Rani of Jhansi or Jhansi ki Rani, which people remember. There was Bahadur Shah Zafar, though he did not play an active role, he was certainly from behind, he certainly gave the moral support. There were certain other people as well. There was and Begum Hazrat Mahal. These were some important figures who supported the revolt. And however, there were some people who were also opposing, or whom we can say that these people were later on called as traitors of the country, like the famous Scindias and the Holkars. These people were those who gave information about the revolters to the Britishers and played a treacherous part in our history. Now, the actual revolt. The revolt basically manifested initially in the northern areas of our country. It started from Kanpur, then it went to Delhi, where where all the soldiers, they started revolting against the British army. Then the main incident which took place was in Barrackpur, where a soldier called Mangal Pandey, he refused to buy the grease cartridge because it had cow fats inside it, and also some Muslim revolters, they also revolted because that grease cartridge had pig fat inside it. So what it initially was that this actively got involved in the revolt. The army revolted first. So this actually provoked people to a huge extent, and gradually many strata of the society got materialized into it. Now, consequences. Now, many people have given their own subjective views on the 1857 revolt. However, to be very neutral, we can say that the consequences of the revolt were very, very huge. Now, why was it huge? Because after 1857, East India Company was completely dissolved. From at least from India, it got dissolved. The Indian Empire was handed over to the British Crown. So, British Crown gained formal control over its Indian Empire. Now, the British policy also changed in India completely. They started playing the divide and rule policy, dividing Hindus and Muslims, because they got afraid due to the 1857 revolt, wherein Hindus and Muslims they had united and participated actively. Uh, there were other areas also. There were changes in the army composition. In the army, there was more input of the British soldiers now. More British soldiers were kept in higher ranks. In other important areas also, police service also, the Britishers were actually actively involved. There were restrictions on other aspects also. However, the Britishers realized that they should not interfere directly in the social and religious aspect of people. That's why they started to slow down on their agenda to intervene directly in the social and religious matters of Indians. The consequences were many. The Britishers also decided not to interfere in the internal matters of princely states. However, slowly they soon got control of all the princely states, but not to attack them directly. Uh, they also constructed their own judicial and administrative system for better delivery of justice in the country. So there were numerous consequences of the 1857 revolt. So I hope today's class is a good enough session for you on this important topic, and I hope that it helps you in your preparation. Okay, thank you.